Hello, everyone. Happy holiday season. Hello to everyone on Instagram Live, as well as on YouTube and on Facebook. Welcome to the Life with Joey Calvo podcast. Not podcasting, actually. Um, but I've now figured out how my microphone is going to work, which now kills the whole thing of because of if I have a guest and I'm using my earphones right now, I will not be able to do the podcast. So we're gonna try around that and see what we can do with that. But I thought I'd come on here, chat for a little bit, give you an idea of fun. So as I'm talking to you folks on Instagram, I am also talking to on YouTube as well as Facebook. So the other night, well, first before we get on that, how is everyone doing? Hope you guys are having a great season. My holidays are not turning out the way I would think. I did have some scares, but we're going to get to that in a moment. But yeah, I did have another family member that tested for COVID, tested positive. That relative is now home and is getting, so I'm happy about that. So now I've told you guys, I don't know if I mentioned it on Instagram, but I mentioned it on the podcast. I am on a COVID-19 vaccine trial since November. So I had the last injection done on the 9th. And so with the snow on Wednesday, everything was delayed. I got a phone call on Thursday, asking me how I'm doing. Well, I was sneezing, and I started sneezing. I went to my back. Well, actually, it's more I went to my side. It hurts like a motherfucker. Hurts like hell. So it was hard to sleep that night. Last night, well, I had talked to a classmate who was a nurse, and that's what she told me happened. Because she asked me, because I thought it was the kidneys. So, ruled out the kidneys, went to the back. That's because I gained some weight. So, yesterday morning when I started working, I had an aspirin cream patch. So I put it on my side to see if it'll work. And believe it or not, it actually started to work. I said, I got to get more. So, make a long story short, I went and got some salon pots. Well, I put on pots on. I thought it was myself up. I mean, it worked. I mean, I got a lot of rest. I was really amazed. But at the same time, I thought my side was burning hot because it's one of those hot patches. You put it on. So today, unfortunately, I got a little sick. I got sick. The muscle came back again and said, "Hey, we're gonna give it to you." So I'm not in as much pain as I was earlier, but I've had it to where I have pulled my back out. Matter of fact, it was almost 20 years ago. Yeah, almost 20 years ago. Before I got married, matter of fact, I pulled my back out. And I wind up going down to Wildwood the next day with my fiance, now ex-wife at the time. Um, hey, Jim. So, yeah, and I am showing my age, believe it or not. um, I I should not be looking like this. Um, but I'm glad some of you will not see how gray my face looks. Okay, if I get any worse, I will be like my father. It's scary. Bad enough up here is one thing, but down here is forget. So, so I thought, like I said, chat with you a little bit. Um, Instagram, this is going to be the last live stream this year that I'm going to do with you guys. The live stream for the podcast itself on YouTube, as well as Facebook. Hope live year-end podcast tomorrow. So I'm going to try to live stream it on a different device. So we're going to see if it works. If you guys can actually hear me and you're the live stream on YouTube and or on the Life Joey Calvo YouTube channel on Facebook, let me know that you are, because I actually checked the volume on it, and you should be able to hear me with no problem. So, hopefully, this pain in my side will subside through tomorrow. Well, tomorrow I know I shouldn't have any. I should have a little, but I should be all right. I should manage it. So like I said, I'm doing the year-end podcast tomorrow, and then I'm gonna, gotta work Christmas Day. So hopefully everyone will have a great holiday season. Like I said, I had a little downer moment yesterday walking through Center City, Philadelphia, and we have Christmas Village that now spans from City Hall. So I'm walking through City Hall, and I haven't walked through City Hall, the interior, the courtyard area of City Hall, as much this year. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna, So I'm walking through, and I started looking at the shops, and here's the carousel, nice, beautiful carousel in the middle. And as you're hearing the Christmas music, and I'm looking around, seeing, the love and everything around, it was hurting me a little bit, because I actually miss being with people. I really do. As weird as it sounds, I miss being with people. I miss spending time. With COVID, it's harder, and I understand that. And like I said, it hit my family. I didn't lose my brother to COVID. He passed away in April of a stroke, so it's not. But he did have COVID before he passed. So, and then my sister last week, but he said she's home, she's resting, and she's getting better. So that's good news. And spoke to my mother about my side, and we thought it was the kidney. Then she turns around, oh, everyone in the family has kidney problems too. I was like, come on, worse could it get? But it was hurting me a little bit, because I am going to be alone for Christmas. I'm not saying I'm not feeling. I'm not that depressed to say, No, my life's over with. Goodbye. Screw you all. No, I'm fine. Just missing being with people over the holidays. That's all. It's just missing hanging around people. That's all. That's all it practically is these days with me. Just you know that lonely time, the single time that you have. You know, like I said, I'm not. I was diagnosed with anxiety and depression in 2009. So, but I'm not depressed. Like I said, it's just those momentary feelings when you're walking, you see couples holding with masks on, of course. You see couples holding hands, and you know, and you're looking at all these wonderful pictures, and I'm like, deep down, I'm like, why isn't this happening to me? But it's something in my that happened a long time ago that caused that part. So I've learned to deal with it. It's not that I'm not feeling love. So I mean, it's not totally killing me. It's just that those moments when you're out and you're getting sun, and then you're realizing that's all that. Do I miss my relationship? Yes, I do. I was happy to go to my 30-year reunion last year. Sorry about that, Instagram. I I I was happy to see my class at my 30-year reunion last year. I am thankful for that. And a shout out to the gentleman that ran that 30-year reunion last year. He actually told me, and since if Jim, if you're watching on Instagram, he said the wine's on him. Okay, I have to pick out a class that was watching on Instagram, because a funny thing is I normally drink white Zinfandel because of my heart condition and stuff. So that's usually a safe drink for me that I can get around and manage with. Well, wasn't gonna happen that night. They would not. As much as I wanted it, I was like, I had enough money. Believe it or not, I actually took enough money for 2 glasses of white Zinfandel there at night. And my classmates that were with me, that I was sitting with, they're like, no, you're not having wine around us. You're gonna have, and they get me this drink. I'm like, ugh. Deep down, I'm like, ugh. But I drank it because I didn't want to upset them or offend them. So I drank it. Just never get that for me again. No. I forgot. I even forgot what it was. But the organizer of I actually picked. I turned around. I said to the group that I was with, I said, wait a minute, the organizer has a glass of wine. Why can't I have one? Like, I wanted wine. So, like I said, it was fun. And I didn't want to offend the group I was with. But I drink white Zinfandel because my family has had heart problems. And white Zinfandel has been a safe thing for me to have. I mean, I could, when I was younger, oh, yeah, give me the give me the shots and stuff. I would down shots and stuff. Now I don't even touch it. It has to be white Zinfandel or something close to that. Wise because it's safer for me. It's more it's safer and a little bit healthier. So so one thing I wanted to touch on at least, and I'm going to present it to the YouTube and Facebook chats. I do want to be thankful for the podcast with this year. Um, I started this podcast a little over a year ago, and when I started this podcast, I was doing everything possible. Well, now as we're coming up into 2020, we've hit over 1,000 downloads. I don't know if we've hit 1,100 yet. It doesn't 1.1K, but it's hit 1,000. It's people, 1,000 downloads, and thank you, ladies, for listening to these podcasts more than the men. Those are in my age group of late 40s to near 60. They are the biggest listeners of these podcasts. So it's reached out there, and it has reached out worldwide. So it's reached out to France and Ireland and Korea and Kenya. Some of those countries you're like you really got to watch when it comes to the email scams and stuff. Those countries are listening to the podcast, and I was like, wow. I never thought it would get that far. Because when I did it on a previous platform, I got 200, like 200, not even 500 downloads on that, but it was costing me every month. This Anchor.fm that I'm on didn't cost me anything. I started on Anchor.fm. I may not have made $100, close to 10, but it's been a start, and it has done some wonders. Where we have a storefront where you can buy the logo on a shirt, and it says "Life with Joey Calvo," and I believe underneath it there's two versions. One is just the "Life with Joey Calvo" logo. The second one has the "Life with Joey Calvo" logo, and underneath it has Anchor.fm/Life with Joey Calvo. So, and if you're watching on the YouTube and Facebook live stream, the banner underneath that tells you, subscribe to check out the podcast on Anchor.fm/Life with Joey Calvo, and follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Those watching the Instagram podcast, follow us on Twitter at Life Calvo, or subscribe to the Life with Joey Calvo YouTube channel. Hopefully we're going to try to keep this into 21. I haven't been real happy with this platform, and it's not because of the platform itself. I mean, it's great. I mean, it's letting me live stream on YouTube and Facebook, which is great. And unfortunately, Instagram, it doesn't bring Instagram yet. Um, that's why you need to be on the YouTube channel at least, live streaming on the YouTube channel when it appears, and subscribe to the channel, like I said, so you can see the actual podcast. But I was having some issues where people on the live stream on YouTube and stuff couldn't hear me. So hopefully with this live stream that's not being recorded for the podcast, that's why I did it on Instagram Live tonight, you should be able to hear no problem. So if you do, please comment. Okay, please comment that you did. Because I should not be using this. Because if I'm doing a podcast and I record it, the podcast won't hear anything. The podcast will not hear anything. So, definitely subscribe to the anchor.fm/Life with Joey Cavo podcast, as well as subscribe to the Life with Joey Cavo YouTube channel. So that way, when it is being live streamed, you can catch it live. My last podcast, I had a nutritionist on for a little bit of time, and I tried to send her a link to here, and it didn't work. And I was like, I gave her the backup, and the live stream people couldn't even hear the guest. So I'm going to try to figure out how I'm going to make it all work. And matter of fact, there was one podcast I did with model Carol, who is, oh, by the way, please support your local businesses during this time. If there is a restriction on in-dining, still support them for the takeout at least. If you can from your favorite restaurants, please continue to support them. They've been hit very hard through it, and that's one thing that Carol Alt was chatting with me about, and I thanked her for coming on. So, and the reason why I bring up Carol Alt, yes, famous model who actually was in the show Thunder in Paradise with Hulk Hogan. Now, I'm dating that back 6 years, believe it or not. It's been 36 years. But she looks amazing today. I'm not going to say how old she is. I'm going to be a sweetheart to that. But she is a true sweetheart. She really is. She was happy to, I had to do a little sweet talking. But her people let her come on the podcast. I felt so honored because to chat with a supermodel. Now, quote, and I'm going to quote this from her. She does not like the word supermodel, even though she was considered one of the first ones. She does not like the title supermodel. So she always puts the word model in. But she is a true sweetheart. I mean, I couldn't be so smitten about her. She's very friendly. She's very down to earth. I mean, I think I can learn stuff from her. She's been talking about raw food and other healthy things. The nutritionist I just had on Tuesday, Stacy Veneman. She's on Instagram at Stacy Veneman, by the way. Follow her. She has a nutritional business, and she was talking about a all or nothing mentality. Now, see, here in Philadelphia, the gyms are closed, which me because I do try to go to the gym and try to work out 12 times a month, because that was one thing the doctor and I had talked about. So I tried my hardest, but with the gyms closed in Philly, it's hard. Now, I mean, I could go to Jersey and work out, but somehow I haven't had that strength to go out and do it. I mean, here in Philly, like I said, practically indoor dining is still available. The movie theaters are closed. The bowling alleys are closed. The gyms are closed. The casinos are closed. Governor Wolf last week did that outside of Philly. So any casinos I wanted to go to outside are now closed until January. And that's fun. But the gyms still kill me. So Carol Alt turns around and tells everybody that, it's going to be live on Instagram. Hold on one minute. That's going to be live on Instagram. I said, oh my God. I said, it's not going to be on Instagram because this device, believe it or not, and yes, you can say hi to yourselves with the Instagram live people. So I did the podcast off where the live stream's on right now on my my notebook computer, my little Chromebook, and I had to do a 2-part with Carol because with this here, so with this here, do recording up to an hour. On the computer, you could only do 30 minutes. So I had to break it down into 2 podcasts, but I was still thankful that Carol came on the podcast. And I do hope if she does watch this live feed later on, hopefully she'll come on in 2021, and I'd be happy to have her come on to the. I want to try to get her on the live stream so all of you could see this wonderful model. I mean, I would never have thought that I was going to be able to reach. Yes. I also had chatted with a former meteorologist here in Philadelphia, Katie Feller. She wrote a book called My Happy Place that did very well on Amazon. And so I had her on before the book came out, and we were promoting the book, and I had gotten on her launch crew. And I got to read the book, and I mean, there was a lot to learn. So that podcast, it's Life with Katie Fellinger, 3rd listened podcast ever. Now, I have another classmate. This is one thing about these earphones that they keep falling out on me. I asked me, Sabrina Blocker. She wrote a book of poetry called Journey of My Life. That's like a #1 hot seller on Amazon. So I had her on the podcast, and that is the most listened to podcast out, believe it or not. It's like almost 80 downloads to that. So when you go on the anchor.fm Life with Joey Calvo page, and you're seeing all the podcast episodes, you want to listen to the one with Stacey. You want to listen to the one with Sabrina Blocker. You want to listen to the one with another classmate of mine who has a hot independent movie called Lit, and I mean that podcast got lit. That is the second most listened to podcast. That was 70 listeners. I was like, wow, I was amazed. Third was Katie Fellinger. Fourth and fifth was with another classmate. I have her book sitting far away, unfortunately. Her name is Lisa L. But my classmates would know her as Lisa Edmonds. Book trilogy, and we did a 3-part podcast. And she was telling stories about, while we were in school, and, a famous celebrity, which I figured out for a little bit, which surprised me. Plus, so trilogy itself. And then I had, Carol, I had Sabrina Blocker, I had Grim Whitaker, and his star Steps. That's the second most two podcasts. Sabrina's the number one. Katie's third. Katie Fellinger and Lisa Ellery. So next year, I'm aiming for the stars. I mean, I'm going all out. I've thrown the invite back out to Carol. She's welcome to come on anytime. Stacey Veneman, I forgot about her. Sorry, Stacey. If you wind up watching the Instagram, sorry about that. But Stacey Veneman, I've offered to come back on anytime she wants. Lisa Ellery, she wants to come back on. We got to work things out. Sabrina is working on another book. I picked on her when we did the podcast. I said, when you're getting ready to do your next book, I said, I want a copy before you have it launched, so that way I can look at it. And when you come on the when you come to promote that book, I'll be able to say, okay, this is so on. So, I'm reaching all out. Out to Wonder Woman. Oh, Shalene Kent Keffer. She is another one. She's a Wonder Woman cosplay actress. I had on the chat, on the podcast. And that brought up a little controversy. And you know what? It did not bother me, because it was a fun chat, and she is welcome to come back on. Unfortunately, when we did that podcast, I had an issue with my backup system. So most of the podcast you heard, so Shalene, if you're watching the Instagram live, or if you're watching the Facebook live, YouTube live, you're welcome to come on the podcast anytime you want. Let me know so we can promote. There's so many people that I want them to come on the podcast, because I've always said, everybody has a story. Everybody's story. And I think people should hear it. And the reason why I think people should hear it is because if you're holding it in, it's hard. I'm holding in some things in my life. It does once in a while, but you know, for safety reasons, I do it for that. But everybody has a story, and sharing it is always the best thing because when you share a story, it branches out. And you may find a listener may say, you know what, this happened to me. Let me see what this person went through. Or like Carol Hall and the raw food. I mean, asked me to come hang out with her for a day. I would be in heaven. Okay, I would be in heaven for this because she's just amazing. I if you saw how old she actually is, you could not believe she is that age. Again, I'm protecting her age because some women don't like their age being told. Um, so yeah, that's one thing. So I've reached out. I'm reaching out to so many people. Kimberly Kravitz. Every time I'm missing people as Kimberly Kravitz. Thank you as well for coming on the podcast. When I started the COVID-19 vaccine trial, I gave her an exclusive, and she turned around and took the place that I went to, and I'm going to show the. There we go. There's the place I'd go to. If you're in Jersey, they are still looking for volunteers. Here you go, Instagram. Same thing. If you're in Jersey, volunteer, and you do get compensated. Just to let you know, you get very compensated for this. So Instagram, like I said, if you're in New Jersey or Southeast Philadelphia, Southeast Pennsylvania, Delaware, these are the people to reach out to. They have more COVID-19 vaccine trial. So they're always looking for volunteers, and they don't earn. So, and like I said, they compensate you for your time and travel. So check it out. It's hritrials.com. So again, that's hritrials.com, and the number is 86-380-6565. That's 866-380-6565. Yeah, I actually have to peek down to look at, because glasses, distance. If I really wanted to and try to be a hotshot, I'll take them off. But at my age, please. Hotshot is a former word. So that's the number to reach. They're like I'm saying, they're looking for volunteers still. Feel free, if you're interested, reach out to them. And it don't have to be the COVID-19 vaccine. It could be any other items, any other studies that they're doing. They're doing one for depression. That's how I got. That's how I started seeing them. I actually found them in the Metro of Philadelphia, so that's how I came across them. But reach out, and if you don't live in Jersey, you could always Google COVID-19 search vaccine trials or depression trials or anxiety trials, and you may find a place close to you where you can go and see if you qualify for their studies. Like I said, they're always looking for volunteers because that's how our lives can get better. So, with that being said, latest on the vaccine, I have not been feeling. I've had a little scare with coughing. I was also diagnosed with sleep apnea, so I get the mucus at night, um, and I have asthma. But I've also gained some poundage, so we're trying to work on the poundage. Um, so we're working on that. So hopefully in 2021, uh, we will not feel like we're going to play Weeble Wobble with me, where me I can't get up. Okay, I'm not going to pick on a certain radio personality who uh, I need to talk to on the radio one time. Matter of fact, there's a couple radio personalities that are on my Facebook friends page, so I am thankful to them. And one of them is still famous. To me, they're all still famous, but one I will say was one of the original hosts in the morning in New York on the Z Morning Zoo. So, but other people that I'm reaching out to, believe it or not, as crazy as I'm saying this, there is one friend who came on the podcast. Like I said, I mentioned about Kimberly Kravitz. She has been on the Joe Piscopo show. And Joe Piscopo has a morning radio show on AM 970, The Answer, Monday through Friday from 6 to 10 Eastern Time. And, of course, you know, he's famous for Saturday Night Live, doing impressions of Sinatra, doing movies like Johnny Dangerous, and, you know, others. He is one person I would love to get on this podcast and have a fun chat with, because this man does wonders. I mean, his man will speak out. I mean, he talks politics. He's got politicians and others on his radio show. He's had Kimberly Kravitz on. He's had, but I would love to have Joe Piscopo on. So those out to Joe Piscopo, please come on this podcast, because I would love to chat with him. I mean, there's so many questions I want to ask him, and maybe even some advice, because, you know, I'm still thinking about being a radio talk show personality. As much as friends, oh no, you can't do it. I can't. I know I can't. It's just a struggle because of this pandemic. Otherwise, I'd be taking courses on it. So, with that being said, to Instagram Live, happy holidays. To the live stream people on Facebook and YouTube, hopefully tomorrow we will be live streaming the year-end podcast on Instagram. Please go over to the Life with Joey Calvo YouTube page and subscribe, or the Life with Joey Calvo YouTube, Life with Joey Calvo Facebook page. I usually broadcast it on there. So, you folks have an awesome day. Happy holidays, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas. Please all stay safe. When you're out, please wear a mask, because the vaccines are out, yes, but we may not get them until the springtime or summer. But in the meantime, protect yourself. Wear a mask. Do the social distancing. Do what is told, only because your life may depend on it. Okay? And believe me, as hard as I don't feel comfortable wearing masks really being out, because of the research study that I'm on, yes, I do have to wear a mask. Because I'm a little bit in the high risk right now, I do have to wear a mask. Um, but I'm getting used to it. It takes a little bit, but I work on it. So God bless you all. Take care. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Live stream people on YouTube and Facebook. Tomorrow, year-end podcast. Um, if you can't catch the live stream, go to anchor.fm/Life with Joey Calvo. And podcast will be up there tomorrow. All right. God bless you. Take care.